everybody. Today I kind of thought, it's finally nice outside. It's about 70, slightly overcast, but it's sunny, so it's nice. So I thought today I'd do something out in the yard. It's right before Memorial Day weekend, and I thought maybe I'd just give people who are away from here a little vision as to how stuff is growing. We do a lot of gardening. We do veggie gardens, and I've got a perennial garden along the driveway here that I'm going to show you in a little bit. So here we go. So here's along the driveway. This whole area that you see with all the stones and rocks here. When we first moved here, this was all just pucker brush. One weekend I rented an excavator and stirred up the turf a little bit. I picked all these rocks out of the ground, set them in the driveway, cleaned all the ground up, kind of smoothed it out, and planted all the rocks back. And it is now kind of my perennial driveway garden. So here's my metasequoia. And some of the stuff in here, like here's heather. That's doing nicely. This has beautiful blue little mini corncob kind of shaped flowers. We got a little lamium in the background here. There's a lot of fern in here. Fern is pretty invasive. If you don't keep it under control, it just takes over everywhere. It's like everything up here, that's all daisy, wild daisy, and actually black-eyed Susans. Got some purple iris that's maybe going to bloom here pretty quick. Hosta. More daisy and ferns. Little variegated iris here. A juniper. A juga back here has a really nice purple flower. Actually, the purple flowers are just barely starting. Little Johnny jump up. That's wild. I don't know where it came from. This is a succulent. I forget the name right off the top, but it's thick leaves. Another succulent that's a ground cover. Daylilies. Dianthus down in here. Looking a little puny right now. Delphinium. This has a really tall purple-blue flower. And this is a ground cover daisy. I forget the exact name of it, but it is a daisy, and it stays low and spreads out. Another Dianthus member. This is some Phlox that is just about past due or past blooming. This has been in bloom for a good 2 weeks. It's just about to go by. And down in here, hens and chickens. This stuff does really good because it kind of faces west, south. Gets really good sun here. More daylilies. Oriental poppy. Big orange blooms that this gets. And actually, this is the new popular plant. It has really beautiful yellow flowers. This is goldenrod. Yeah, I know. And then behind this oriental poppy is a golden potentilla. That whole little bushy plant later this summer will be just a mass of yellow flowers. It's pretty cool. And then this is a Carnival Maple. It's a little hybrid, but it has white leaves. They're a little on the green side right now, but they'll come out white with pink all around the edges. It's kind of a cool tree. This has only been here, actually this is the second summer for it, so it's still kind of the expression, especially with trees. The first year they sleep, the second year they creep, the third year they leap. So this one is barely sleeping, waking up, creeping. Over here, Katooni Aster. It's a ground cover. It gets full of little red berries. here, this is just a bunch of landscape trees that we put in to kind of make a bit of a cover to the house. You can kind of see the house in the background there. But this is a balloon pine, and this thing has done really well. It's probably doubled in size in 3 years, which is nice. And next to it is a magnolia that just has gone by with flowers. This thing was full of blooms a little bit ago. And a bit of a juniper here also. And actually that's Bart, my chainsaw carving. Bart's about 20 years old. He's getting kind of rough. And coming around to the roadside, that juniper, that in the middle there is an enoki pine and another little magnolia tree, and then behind that is a Alaska cedar. And my favorite tree on the property is this. This is called a metasequoia. It's a deciduous conifer. It loses its needles throughout the winter, but in the summertime, as you can see, the needles are starting to come out. It is a conifer. It does get little cones on it. It's a sequoia. But when this thing is full needle, this thing is bright yellow. And this is doing really well too. This thing has doubled in size in 3 years, which is cool. So this little area is a little stone pathway that I made up to the veggie garden because it's kind of a steep hill. So let's go up to the garden. And this structure that you see kind of in the middle, we plant green beans and peas on that, down at the bottom of it. And by the end of the summer, it totally grows over it and makes a little tunnel, if you will. And actually right in front here, these are the asparagus. This is the 3rd year for the asparagus. And we have not harvested them for the last 3 years. And this is the 1st year that we've actually harvested. We've probably taken 4 or 5 times a handful. The ones that are really tall, we're letting those go. If they're really skinny, you should let them go, I guess. It helps develop the roots. But you can see in here there's some that are nice and plump and fat, like this one here. We kind of missed harvesting that one. That'll go tonight. The fat ones we take, the skinny ones we let them go. So this is at the base on the green beans that'll grow up on this sheep fencing that will totally cover this up, and it's like a little tunnel that you can walk through. It's pretty cool. So there's peas on this side, and some lettuce, peppers. I think we got some bell, some red, and there's maybe one jalapeno pepper in here. And this next area, these are like a beefsteak tomato. We kind of like the beefsteaks a lot, and actually at the far side there is a bunch of basil right in there. We've tried with the tomatoes and the basil, we've tried mozzarella plants, but they just don't do well here, so we do have to go buy the mozzarella to go with the tomatoes and basil in the summer. Garlic that we planted last fall. Put the bulbs in the ground last fall, and they stayed all winter here, and these are coming up nicely. Actually, they're starting to get brown on the tips. Once all the leaves get brown, then you can harvest the garlic out. And the rest of this bed is cherry tomatoes. And this is a bale of hay. And actually, we tried this last year. We started this last year. We got zooks and cukes in here, zucchinis and cucumbers. And actually, once these get growing really well, they just flow right down the side of the hay, which is kind of cool. So there you have a pretty quick walk around the yard, just to see what's going on. And it really was kind of give you an idea of how stuff is growing in New England before Memorial Day weekend. And like the veggie garden, we just put those veggies in, except for the asparagus and garlic. Typically, you don't plant around here until Memorial Day weekend. But we did it last weekend because the
the forecast was for above freezing weather all week. So we did it. And you can probably see buzzing around my head are black flies. These also are a pretty healthy crop here in New England, and especially right here, everywhere actually, but especially here because I live on a brook. There's a brook just over the hill here, and black flies breed in running water. So the black flies are pretty awesome here. They're annoying as hell.
So here's just right at the edge of my yard, looking over at this brook that runs by.
Hey, thanks for coming by. Say goodbye, Fitz. Well, and here's the legal stuff. I guess you've already watched, so please do like and share. And please also make a comment about the video. I'd like to hear what you got to say. Thanks a lot.